yeah, so I've played mostly modern stuff on this. Obviously, I've tried a few other games, non sort of HDR stuff. And I've been very, very impressed with this so far. For the price I paid for it, it's pretty stellar. Obviously, Sadly 55 is the biggest I could fit in the entertainment unit. But I've been playing about with it on PS5 and Series X. Still need to mess around with the Switch, and I'm hoping because I bought an OSSC not too long ago that it's compatible with that. Because it says this TV will go. I think this TV goes as low as 480p. So hopefully I can hook up anything that puts a lower sort of display resolution, that like Mega Drive, which I think is like mixture between 200 to about 400p, something like that from the Mega Drive video I did. But I can't quite remember what exactly, depending on what game puts out what. But I've been very, very impressed with this so far. And Streets of Rage is just awesome. But obviously the art style for this game is I guess it's a bit of an it looks good anyway, generally, even on a 1080p display. But I was shocked. I haven't watched much. I watched, I think, the first two episodes of Ahsoka on Disney Plus last night, and yeah, the brightness on this at 600 nits is really, really impressive. Obviously, there are higher nit TVs that do. And nits, from my understanding, is something to do with the brightness and the lighting of the TV. But it was really, really good. I mean, obviously, as you go up in the market for TVs, they obviously get more expensive, and obviously then you're talking like 800. I think like they've got a mini LED TV which is even brighter, but they were coming in at about £700-800, and then obviously at that point you're hitting sort of OLED sort of territory at that point. Now OLEDs are nice, but £800-900. I mean, if you've got the cash, I suppose good for you. But yeah, that was just going a little bit over the top for me. So I wouldn't define this as a budget TV. If you're looking for something like the £200 to £300 range, it's still pretty decent. I'm well impressed. I'm glad I did make the switch up. I just hope my OSSC is going to work with all these games, because it's going to suck a little bit otherwise. I will show you some of the features. Obviously, for copyright purposes, I will not be showing movies and mainly music, obviously, for that reason. In theory, I suppose I could show still shots, but I don't even know if that's worth it, if I'm honest. I'm just showing some videos I streamed last night. So the first one I streamed was Streets of Rage 4, and obviously this one is Shredder's Revenge. And apparently my internet is terrible out here. This is the only problem about living out in the countryside. Internet absolutely sucks. It's terrible. It's about 50 megs, I think. So what I will show you is the settings on the actual TV. You'll have to excuse the bit rate on this, because this was a stream, but obviously, as I said, that's not the best. So if you go into our settings, you've got your standard, which is just your 60 hertz, and you've got your 4K 120 hertz. So you obviously have to do that to enable that. So you can turn the device on like you can on a lot of TVs now, just by hitting the whatever console it is. But I think the CEC, if I'm understanding, I think it only comes on with the PS5. I'm not 100% sure. I could be wrong by that. There's my device list, but I haven't really. I'm actually might be wrong with that, actually. Yeah, that's what's running at the moment. That's what's on. So it's on HDI night at the moment. That's what I was running it last night. It's not the most power efficient TV. It's on I think the G rating or something. In fact, I don't even know if game mode is actually on, because there might be some minor lag. I mean, it's nothing that bad, but. So here's all your settings. So we go HDR standard. HDR day, a bit of a warmer sort of tone to the picture. Back to night. Night looks pretty. That's what I was watching Ahsoka on last night. It was pretty good. So far with Ahsoka, yeah, it's not bad. It's certainly an improvement for Disney Plus, for Disney in general. Some of the stuff they've been producing of late has been To say awful would be an understatement, but we shall see. Hopefully, positive vibes there. Dynamic, that really ups the blue tone, probably a little bit too much, but yeah, personal preferences. Sport, don't watch sport, so I could care less, but it's good to have that option. Filmmaker mode, again, it's sort of dims the picture a bit, but it looks like it's got more of a warm tone to it. I'll just stick it on HDR day for now. Different aspect ratios if you want to mess with it. Go 4:3 if you want. Actually, that looks quite good, actually. I know people hate black bars, but that looks pretty sweet. 20:9, I think it's for I think that would support that would support ultra wide monitors, which I've been curious about them for a while actually, but just stretch the image a little bit there. Oh my word, that's well, it's something, let's put it that way. Dot to dot, which I think that's actually probably the best, in a way, probably the best mode in some ways actually, looking at that. But for now I'm going to stick it back on 16:9 because it makes... So you've got smart scenes, so it recognises it. So currently my game mode isn't off. Is off at the moment, so if I hit that, put that on, so it's going to optimise for game settings. FreeSync's enabled, which is handy for consoles and predominantly I have to say more PC stuff as well. So we've got a backlight, so I can switch it off. Medium. On medium for now. I haven't really messed with a lot of this stuff, but you can do if you wish. Yeah, ultra motion, I've not messed with that. Adaptive contrast. There's so much you can do to play about with this stuff. We could bring the contrast down a touch. But I know, it looks pretty good. No, it's a bit too dark. There's so much you can do to mess around with this and stuff. Great sharpness, color saturation. But as I said, I've messed about for a few bits on it. Obviously, sound mode, go standard. Doesn't sound as good, obviously. This, I think, personally, theatre mode sounds really, really good. Music mode. Excuse the camera, it's difficult to keep it straight. Dolby Atmos on and off. Let's leave it off. So you can have it on the wall mount option if you wish. The one thing I would say is the stand ain't too. It's different. It's just I'm more used to sort of a more traditional sort of one, but obviously you can output to a Bluetooth. There is some compatible issues with my headset. My headset, it will not detect my headset, which is a gaming headset. It's also wireless and it's also Bluetooth, but for some reason it just doesn't pick it up. Dolby Digital, plus I don't know. There's so many different bleeding sound modes and stuff. Obviously it's wireless, so you can cast on for your mobile device if you, which I'll leave it off. There's your Bluetooth settings there and stuff. You can mess around with it. I'll probably show a bit of footage of maybe the Switch as well, because I've not actually run the Switch through this as of yet. Obviously, you got your system pins, so parental controls. So you can use the voice servers as well if you want. You've got Vida, which is the like Hisense is a built-in own. Okay. Right. So now we're on Vida. I have no idea how I did that. PS5. Nope. Okay, I've got to work out how to do that because it should have. Huh. Right. So we're running at 60 corners now. Is that just the actual? Maybe this game just doesn't support 120 hertz. Not that it really needs it because it looks nice and fluid anyway. So you got your airplane, so you can do your iPhone, iPad, iMac on it. Obviously, you can cast your phone onto it if you wish. There's so much on here that you can do. I've only played about with a bit of it stuff. Now, obviously, I don't think there's any more system updates. You got your e-manual there, of course. I've got a additional manual as well. That is the remote, as you can see. It's got all your, if it wants to focus. So it's pretty much all on there. There's a lot to it and stuff, and obviously, you know, you can mess around with it to get your own type of preferences depending on what you want and stuff. Doesn't need an upgrade. Didn't think it did anyway. I don't imagine this will receive that many more updates anyway at this point, but you never know. But this looks pretty sweet. So this is on running on PS5. Obviously, I will show you some Series X footage as well. So, in fact, I could probably, because I did actually stream Halo. Obviously, this game will probably look a little bit more. You'll have to apologize for the reflection on, as you can see me in the TV. I've enjoyed Halo so far. Halo Infinite. It's the same game as all the other Halos, but it's obviously got an open world map later on in the game, which sort of breaks things up. You have to apologize for the bitrate. I mean, I might load the Series X up in a minute anyway, and show you some of the games on there. But this looks pretty good. By the way, that gun is unbelievably cool. The Series X was a little bit more of a, I wouldn't say tricky to set up, but it was a little bit different from the PS5. Obviously, the PS5 you set everything up and then you sort of go from there. As you can see, I've got my Series X up there. Switch it on now. It might detect automatically, it might not. I might have to do it manually. No, it received it straight away. Cool. Or will it press X? Obviously, you can also label these as well if you wish. So you've got AV as well, so you can, like, in theory, hook up like a Wii or something to it. Because I've got the OSSC, I can just power everything through that. So as you can see, 120 hertz. And Xbox have updated their UI and everything. So I've got the Halo Master Chief I've been playing. Fight Night is just a backwards compatibility. The one I did pick up was Splinter Cell Chaos Theory on original Xbox. Still got Borderlands to play at some point. This game though will probably look the bee's knees. I don't think I've ever said that. The only thing I have noticed with Halo though is and it might do it in a minute, is it has a tendency to crash sometimes, which is kind of weird. I don't know why it does it, and I think it has actually crashed. Yeah, I think the game has actually crashed. Because the PS5 is instantaneous, but I mean, it technically has a faster, my understanding, it has a faster SSD. Yeah, that has crashed, so that was a good demonstration. Oh, no, it hasn't. That takes a long while. That was a good 35-40 seconds to load. So, as you can see, this is the open world map of Halo. As you can see, that the lighting is tremendous. It really on Halo especially. This is probably going to be very difficult to play, but as you can see, the open world map. So if you're looking for something that's budget but like under like £600, I would probably recommend Hisense. Is definitely, obviously, you know, you've got your Samsungs, your LGs, and they're very very nice, but they do charge more of a premium. I mean, obviously, I've only had this TV about a month and a half, maybe a bit more than that. So, you know, things could change, something could go wrong, and then but it's guaranteed for 2 years. But you don't necessarily have to pay stupid amounts of money to get something that's very, very impressive. I mean, there are better TVs out there for sure. But at this budget, at this price point, that is pretty decent, really, for what you're getting. This is really difficult to play with one hand. And so far, from what I've played of Halo, it's just more Halo. It just looks nicer, and the multiplayer though has been lambasted quite a lot, from my understanding of it all. But I don't really play multiplayer, not on Halo. I'm a bit too old to. Wow, it's like Call of Duty games like that where you play them and then you just end up like, oh god, blinking and then dying because I haven't got superhuman reflexes. But you'll know that as you get older, unless you're an absolute, I guess. God damn it. Right, so I need to turn around. I don't know who designed the control scheme, but it's downright awful. To go forward with the left stick and then to direct where you're going with the right stick is nuts. This is impossible. Absolutely impossible. And also, obviously, I know the Series X supports PS5 as supports keyboard and mouse as well. And we're gonna die horribly. Oh, we're getting hammered. We are getting hammered. God, the AI is terrible. Shoot, damn it, shoot! Shields are up. But HDR does make a difference in games and movies. It really just. Obviously, 4K, the clarity is just unreal. Um, but I'm going to keep my 1080p TV and probably use it as another device unless it breaks or something, because it's still got all the old ports like your SCART socket, AV in. It's got a component on as well, so I'll be definitely using that for a second TV, for a backup TV, just in case. Come on, guys, shoot, damn it, shoot! And I'm getting hammered. Hide behind here. Let's see how if the AI can do a competent job of actually keeping me safe. Setting up the Series X can be a little bit trickier. It's not difficult, but obviously you've got to do everything. You have to go into the enhanced format on the TV, and then you also have to go in and do the stuff on the actual Xbox itself. Right, game mode is actually on. That really ups the tone on the blue though, probably a little bit too much. Game mode's on, FreeSync is on. Pretty much just depends on what your preferences are, really. But I'd definitely recommend this. Now it has gone back up in price, which that puts the I just said it again. The TCL. Sorry, I don't know why I keep saying thinking too much of wrestling. It does put the TL. Just say it again. Jesus Christ. The TCL TV comes up as also a good option at this price point now, just because it's in the same ballpark. I think it was about £649, which I believe is the same price as this TV now. So that would definitely be a recommendation. It's if my understanding is correct, it's 144 hertz, but I'm not sure. You have to be careful with TVs because some of them might say they support, and we're going to die in a minute. Oh, one of the guys is dead. Now I'm going to die. Oh, we're going to die. We're in trouble. Because some of the TVs they'll say they do 120 hertz. We are in real trouble now. He's going to blow. Bugger. Sorry, Master Chief. So basically I hate the name. I always mix it up. So that TV, it supports 144 hertz. Now some of the newer TVs come out even support higher refresh rates, from my understanding. Obviously, then you are getting really, really expensive at that point. But also, there are TVs out there that will say they'll do 4K at 60, but they'll do 120 hertz at 1080p. So that is also another option. Now, obviously, 1080p the clarity is nowhere near as good. But still, it's still impressive. And again, I would highly recommend this, or the TCL, as the two best sort of budget brands to be looking at, because what you're getting for your money is pretty impressive. The Sony and the Samsung, LG. Obviously, you are going to get a lot. You're going to get probably a lot more clarity and more quality, but you're going to pay a premium, an extreme premium for the price. So it really just depends what you're looking for. And this is actually an objective that I actually didn't realize I was actually doing. I was just trying to drive around and all hell broke loose. Right, just shoot them. Just keep shooting them. Right, let's reverse back. Did we kill everybody? No, we didn't. We've still got the big guy. Oh, we did it. Wow, that's impressive, considering I'm using one hand with the controller, which is kind of impressive. I don't want that crappy gun. Let's just do a few explosion effects so you can see some of the lighting effects in action. I'm shooting. Sorry, dude. Just testing something. Lots and lots of guns. So yeah, so that's Halo Infinite. Still waiting to see if there's going to be some type of Gears 6, because they kind of left the story of this sort of open-ended. And I've played through Halo, and I enjoy the combat, but the story is just, I don't know, it just doesn't really, I don't know, it doesn't, there's a very, very outline of a story. Mainly the story is just mainly just between Cortana and Master Chief, from my understanding, but everything else in it is very vague, and I don't know. I still don't even understand exactly Cortana's motives as to why she went bad. Exactly. It's just, and Guardians, Halo 5 Guardians was just, that had literally, the story in that was just almost non-existent. There just wasn't anything there other than just two different teams, one led by Master Chief, one led by another group of Spartans, essentially. But I mean, that's not I wouldn't call that an attack on the game, because the game's fantastic. It's just the story is very, very vague. As you can see, this is Gears of War 5 running. This really does show off lighting tremendously well. But again, it's a big market out there, and I went to Curry's originally to look for this TV, and I saw the TV, and I was going to get it, and then they said to me, "Oh, we can't sell it today, and it's a display model," and I was like, "Oh, that sucks." So, sadly, my business went online, and I went on Amazon, which is a bit of an interesting place to go for a TV. I wouldn't normally, but because I'd heard horror stories and stuff. But it was a good experience. I can't complain. There was no damage to the TV. But I have seen some peer reviews where the things were all balked and broken. I was like, oh man. So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna leave that. I've ranted on long enough, and I hope I've demonstrated to some degree how 4K TVs can be worth the money. If you're in the market for one. But please do your research before you make any decisions one way or the other, because there's a lot of TVs, and I mean a lot, in the mid-range sort of budget market, or the under £600, should I say? I gotta remember that. But it's well worth the thing. The detail on some of the faces as well. Anyway, so that is the Hisense 4K 55-inch TV. And the model number, this is the 2022 model, as I said before, it's the 55U7HQTUK. And there is also, there's a TK, I think now. There's a 2023 model, which is even better. It's got all the newer features, all the bangs and whistles, but obviously a much higher price. I think it's about £700-800, I think, for that TV. So this is God of War running on the Hisense TV. As you can see, all your effects, HDR is enabled. So I've been playing, well, I played this a long while ago. I haven't played it since, but as you can see, now hopefully I won't get into any combat, because I will have real problems playing this game whilst using only one hand.
Huh. Guess the light makes more than bridges. Maybe this will spit us out on top.
But as you can see, it looks gorgeous. It really looks nice. Right, mate, how's it going? You don't seem happy? Obviously, God of War. This is the first God of War. This isn't Ragnarok. but I would imagine that runs just as well. What I didn't realise, this only runs at 60 frames. It doesn't run at... It's 30 frames a second. Sorry, yeah, or 60 for some reason. I'm not quite sure why that is, but then it's an earlier game. It came out a couple of years ago, so I'm also going to demonstrate a bit of Nintendo Switch, just because I've never run the Switch on a 4K TV before. So, and funnily enough, the Switch doesn't even have the settings in the actual UI menu to support 4K. So I imagine it will do. Imagine the TV will just upscale the image, but yeah. So yeah, so that's a bit of God of War for you. I thought a bit more PlayStation content stuff is a little bit more relevant for HDR and stuff like that. And what we'll do is we'll press that.
Look, the blue door. We made it.
This game does look gorgeous, I must say. And getting used to the combat again. I wasn't that keen on the combat when I first played this. It was really, really aggravating and frustrating. But the more you play with it, so the better you sort of start to improve, especially for me. So, I've got one issue with my PS5. The fan, the bearing seems to be going on the fan, so it's making this grinding noise. So, I think I'll have to be replacing that at some point soon, because it's starting to get really, really irritating. When it makes that grinding noise, it sounds horrible. You can hear it now. It's making that grinding sound again, so I think I might have to replace that soon. I have to look on eBay. I'm sure you can get replacement fans for them. The Series X, I've had no issues, no hardware issues at all so far with the Series X. So it's not an indictment on Sony. Maybe I just got a dodgy unit.
The door. There's no seam.
What?
We have a problem.
What setting are we running on currently? Let's have a quick glance just to check. We're in filmmaker mode at the moment, so let's come off that. That's HDR standard, which we'll stick on that at the moment. Oh, my game mode's not even on. Now my game mode's on. And FreeSync is also supported on this TV.
These doors do not open.
Hello? I don't get it. I even have a door then. Hello?
Come, we will find another way in.
Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. I haven't even cleared much of this yet. I've only done like the first dungeon so far. But I thought I'd just show this off on the TV as well. Obviously Zelda looks gorgeous anyway. It even did on a 1080p TV. But yeah, it just brings out a lot of the clarity, that's for sure. I've got so much of this to actually play at some point, but I haven't barely touched any of it at the moment. So have a look around. As you can see, lovely place, very nice graphically. Lighting looks immensely good. Apologies I can't show a lot of gameplay, but a lot is just due to the fact that it's very, very difficult to do that when you are using one hand. Is that Ganon's castle? Is that Ganon? That's Ganon. Is that Hyrule Castle? I'm still not quite sure what's going on in this particular version of Zelda. Oh dear, I'm running out of thingy. Hey, brilliant landing. So I've shown some footage of Shredder's Revenge, Streets of Rage 4, Halo 5, Halo Infinite, sorry, God of War, and obviously Legend of Zelda. I may even do some footage of the older systems running on it, pre-HD, but I don't know if it'll look that great, but any modern stuff is going to look tremendous on a TV of this caliber. But I think oh no, what's that behind me? Oh no. I think we'll kill this thing and then we'll leave it there. I hope you found this video informative in some regards, and you mind I was going to kick that? What a prick. Well, that was easier than I was expecting it to be. I've got to get back into this at some point. Too many games and not enough time. Oh no, do I have an arrow? I think I've got a bow and arrow as well, do I? Where's my bow and arrow gone? Oh, I forgot I can do this with gyro controls. Well, that didn't work. Anyways, that's the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Tremendously good game. One day I will finish it.